Okay, so they walk through usually with a coyote. Coyote takes them to some sort of safe house.
No. The coyote takes them to the border. And then from the border, they walk on these trails to these spots where NGOs...
That's right.
Where the NGOs have set up these camps. I believe that the NGOs are in line with the cartel. I'll tell you why. Last week I was in San Diego. We go to this camp where all the migrants are at. This is like in the middle of nowhere. Like, this is a new spot. We go there. Right as I pull up, the NGO lady sees my face. She hurries and runs to all the migrants. Do not speak to him. Do not speak to him. And then we try to speak to the migrants. They won't speak to me, which is rare because usually they're all really nice.
It's like they're
not all really nice, but they've been now. I think because I've brought so much attention to this subject, they're being told from the cartels and from these NGOs, which I believe are in line with the cartel. And then I go confront I go confront the NGO worker. I'm like, hey, like, what are you guys doing here? Like, what? She's like, oh, we're just helping them out. I'm like, do you like realize like what you're doing? Like, she's like, oh, we're helping these people. I'm like, do you know what's going to happen in their lives after they leave this place? She's like, all these people are good people. Like,
oh yeah, all of them.
Like, I haven't met a bad person. I'm like, how long have you been doing this for? She's like, oh, I've been coming out here for like 7 months. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you work for somebody? Like, do you have a job? She's like, yeah, I have a job. I'm like, okay. And then after that, she shut down. She wouldn't speak to me. Well, meanwhile, she had like this weird cameraman who's filming me. Got a Palestinian flag on him. He's got like a mask on. He won't say a word to me. I'm like, dude, you're filming me. Like, let me talk to you. Like, let's talk. Like, what are you doing? What are you going to do with this footage? Like, I don't care what he does with the footage. But I'm like, you're filming me. I should be able to film you. Don't get defensive when I'm filming your person while you're filming me.
Right.
And then after that, we leave to go find other border spots. No more migrants come in that day.
Do you have a name? Do you know what this NGO is called? Like the name of the company?
There's a few of them.
Can you name one right now?
Catholic Charities.
Catholic Charities.
Yeah. Go to this video.
Okay.
Go to this video right here.
Yeah, let's start with the video. Then I want to do something after. Which
there's
video?
right there. Walking around the camp.
All right.
There are blankets.
Through what's here at this camp
from Catholic Charities. Those purple blankets are blankets from Catholic Charities.
The craziest thing is everything is funded by American Red Cross and Catholic Services. And here's the space blankets that they use to sleep at night here.
And then from that,
so it's a religious.
So the Catholic Community Services, especially in that area in Arizona, they're the ones giving out these free flights to people. And they'll take
Catholic Charities are.
Yeah.
So you think, and this is interesting.
And so they'll take them like the border somehow, like they're in lines with like the border patrol because they have these huge encampments, like huge, where they're taking in all these migrants and they're giving them these free tickets.
So you think it's called Catholic Ministries? Is that right?
Catholic Community Services.
Okay, Alessi, can you type that in? I want to see their website. Let's put that up on the screen.
Catholic Charity.
Yeah. Put it up where the video is. So
Catholic Community Services.
So that we can see this.
Community Services. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Catholic Charities USA or Catholic Community?
Catholic Community Services.
Okay. So not that one.
Probably has to do with that one as well.
Catholic Community Services. Type in that.
Because that's what it's called in Tucson, Arizona. Catholic Community Services.
Services. Type in NGO. Try that. Catholic Charities Community Services. That looks similar to what we.
Yeah, I think that
open vague name Catholic Charities. Like,
okay.
Hit
the About Us. Who we are. All right. Monsignor Kevin Sullivan. He's a priest, chair of the board. Monsignor Kevin Sullivan is the executive director of Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of New York. Oh, this might not be it.
Yeah, does that look right? Or
no? Look up Catholic Community Services, Tucson, Arizona.
There was a logo. I remember.
Look up Tucson, Arizona, right here.
Yeah, do Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, that one right there. So
that one?
Yeah, that's the building in.
Okay.
Yep,
now let's go to about up there, up top. Yep. Perfect.
So this organization, they have like a place called like it's called like Casas Alitas.
Okay.
And there, once you get into Arizona, in that section of the border, they will then take you to there or to another building, and then from there they'll give them like free rent and like stay for like a week while they like figure out where they're gonna go, the migrants. And they'll give them the free plane tickets, and they'll give them like all the paperwork.
All right, go to the initial about, Alessi, and then I'm going to have you come back to this, where you are right now. Okay, so it says, about Catholic Community Services of Southern Arizona. Clients, staff, volunteers, donors. We're from many backgrounds and many walks of life, but we are all a part of the Catholic Community Services of Southern Arizona family. Together, our work touches lives every day in great and small ways. While our services are many, one thread binds our work together. We help children, families, and individuals live with independence and dignity. Now go back to where it says history of CCS. Okay, good. This year was 1930. The year was 1933. The Great Depression was at its height. The Dust Bowl ravaged the nation's midsection. Banks tottered on the verge of collapse. Tens of thousands of Americans left their homes in search of work. Amid this troubled backdrop, the National Conference of Catholic Bishops spoke out. They issued a compelling mandate to serve the needs of those who suffered. From this call to action, Catholic Social Services of Arizona was born. Okay, so it was born with the Great Depression here, but I'm trying to put this together because they were like shutting you down, telling you you couldn't even film and whatever, and then stop the migrants from coming across later that day. And we're treating you like shit. And you were just asking them, like, do you know what's going to happen to these people? To play devil's advocate for a second, and I'm on your side on this one, but let me play devil's advocate to see. Are these people just like really stupid people who are letting, the parts of their religion that, says help feed the poor and stuff like that, which is great, letting that guide their actions and thinking they're doing good by assuming that what happens after they send these people away will work itself out?
Some of these people, I believe, they think they're doing good, because they might see just from that first part where they come across the border and they help the people. But I believe that people higher up are working with the cartel.
Literally, and that's what I was just going to ask. So you think they're literally working with the cartels?
Yes, because I was there. She saw me. I go look for more places. No more migrants come over that day. No more. And then like when news stations go out there, a lot of times, a lady that lives on the border told me that. She's like, no migrants came over for 2 days when the CNN was here.
Oh, that's so sketchy.
She said,
well, do you think
CNN was camped out in front of my house for 2 days and no one came over.
All right, another devil's advocate. Do you think that could also be the coyotes because they're good at their job? They
don't care. Like they're gonna make money either way. Like
yeah, but if they have CNN cameras all over them while they're doing this, their business could run into some problems. No, if they have you filming it, their business could run into some problems.
No, because the United States isn't doing anything to stop them. So like they have no incentive. They have
right, but hold on. Let's assume for a minute that they're thinking to themselves that can change, because we are talking at a time right now where it's gotten so bad that Biden did actually just what the fuck did he do again, Alessi?
He called like an executive order, but it's really not going to do much because it only stops migrants from coming in once they hit 2,500 migrants per day. But he's still flying in.
Right. So it's still not much, but it's like something. Like he's literally. So what I'm saying is these guys have this crazy millions of dollars a year business where they get all these people to come across. If they know, like if I'm a guy running this business and I know there's people with serious attention with cameras right there across the border and I got my eyes on that and I got a scope, I don't want them seeing this because I don't want it to add up to where, I'm just bringing them across all the time and suddenly it starts to get out into the public and legislation happens.
That's why they were so mad when I got there.
Right. But I'm saying like it could be coming from that side as opposed to these idiots at that Catholic charity.
I don't think so. I think because if they're on the side of Mexico, like nothing's going to happen to them.
If who's on the side?
Like the cartel members, if they're bringing the people over, like the coyotes, like why would they stop? I think it's just because the NGOs don't want the light to get on them when they see all these migrants coming over.
Yeah, it could be. You might be right. I'm just playing devil's advocate because like I'm saying if I were, and I'm not, but if I don't know how these guys think, but if I were a coyote and I had a business that I worked, 4 days a week and every pop I did it, after I cut up to the guys above me, I'm making 20 grand a pop, bringing these people across the border. If I saw that, I go over there 3 straight days, there's no cameras. Then the 4th day, there's a camera. I'll say I'll just wait for the 5th day or 6th day when these guys are gone so I don't draw attention.
Or they'll just go to a different spot.
So maybe they did that day.
Yeah, and I'm sure they did because either way, they're going to get their money. Like, they're not going to stop a company from making $200,000 in a day.
Right.
And so like either way, they're
That's
gonna make
right.
their money. And yeah, complete chaos. Like it makes you mad. Like and then something even crazier. So some of the migrants were over there and they got like kind of stranded at the encampment that day when I was in San Diego. They give me their piece of paper. These Chinese guys do, because they're like freaking out. They're like, "What's going on? Like, what are we doing? Like, what? Like, how much time are we gonna wait?" I take a photo of that piece of paper, step by step by step, on what happens and where are they going right as they come across
In
the border.
English.
No, in Chinese.
In China, what? Okay, so you had someone translate it.
Yeah, I just used my phone. I took a photo of it and the whole paper translated. And they're like, "Go to this bus stop. They will be waiting for you here." And then from here, they'll take you to the train, and then from there you'll be able to go to the bus stop, and then from there then this NGO will be waiting for you at the bus stop, and they'll take you to the airport.
All right. I've been waiting to come back to this, and now you just brought it up. So let's do it real quick. I have to go to the bathroom. When we get back, we're going to talk about the Chinese coming across the border.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. So I had heard a podcast maybe 5-6 years ago that Joe Rogan did with the guy who wrote the book Fentanyl Inc.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear of that?
I haven't heard of the book.
It was a very eye-opening podcast interview, because this guy was not a drug reporter or anything like that. He was like a culture reporter. He wrote about like music, and I forget what it was, but there was some story he was assigned that then somewhere in the story someone mentioned something to him about fentanyl, and he was asking him about it, and then got really curious, and it turned into this whole thing that turned into an investigation that turned into a book. And one of the things he did, which was savage, was he essentially just went alone himself undercover to China, to the labs where they're making this stuff, to see how easy it would be for him to procure it. And it was extremely easy, no strings attached or whatever. And what he was explaining is that then it ends up in Mexico and it comes across the border. Now, we're not even getting to espionage or things like that right now with another world power who certainly doesn't see things eye to eye with us as far as our governments go. But what you're talking about at the moment is people coming across the border with directions of what to do, and we don't know who the fuck these people are. And they could, listen, they could be peddling fentanyl. I'll even say that's probably not even likely. They're probably just putting that through the Mexicans at this point with actual cartels. But like, they're probably here doing espionage things, no?
Nobody knows where the Chinese people go after they cross the border. You will not see a Chinese migrant at one of the shelters. They are all going somewhere.
Do they have money on them, I assume?
Yes. And I talked to this lady that lives on the border. Her backyard has a big gap in it. She says that Chinese migrants will come through and offer her money, and they'll pull out their wallets and they'll have wads of $100 bills. And they'll be like, Wi-Fi, food, and they'll offer her money. And then she'll be like, "Where are you going?" And they'll say, camp, going to camp.
Going to camp. And they're not going to camp.
Think about it, camp. What kind of camp could they be going to? And they're letting all these people in.
You're saying they never end up there, though. You said that at the beginning, right?
They never end up at the shelters, but they say they're going to camp. So
So what does that mean?
like potentially like their own military camp, potentially their own little camps where they're moving all these drugs around or anything like that. Like these Chinese migrants are not. You not go to New York City and you not see Chinese migrants inside the shelters.
Do they end up at the airport in that whole system where the NGOs are walking them through security? I guess not Homeland, because you said Homeland only does kids.
You won't see them there. If so, very few. Very few. So
Do you have that picture
of the map?
of the directions?
Yeah, I have
That
it.
translated?
Mm-hmm.
Can you pull that out?
Yeah,
Can we read it?
yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do that. That's the best way to do it, and then I'm gonna let you explain the whole thing.
Yeah, and so like these.
And can you send this to Alessi or text
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to me, and we'll have it on
If you can airdrop it.
yeah, airdrop it to Alessi, and he'll put it up on the screen right now. That's
Okay.
the best way to do it.
Um.
Because while you're doing that, I'm gonna, so that you can do that, just kind of add something here. I can't believe that it is not a bigger conversation, not even just like Chinese, but the fact that people from countries nowhere near South America are finding a way to easily get into, I guess, Mexico, right? And then come right up and cross the border in these places. Like it's like a worldwide thing. Like, oh, we're going to come in here. And you're looking at a situation where I'm thinking from even just the highest level espionage type scenario. This is how it happens.
It's blatant though. That's
It's blatant. Sorry, your mic's not on.
I was gonna say it's just so blatant though at this point, where it's like everyone knows that. It's like you're seeing Chinese. So what are they doing? They have money. Like it just seems so in your face, where it's like this can't be real.
And they're using. We always talk about like the idea of using like capitalism or democracy against us, like our own system, where they're coming from a worse system against us. This is a prime example. Right? And so everyone, and this is something everyone, no matter what the system is, can respond to in the world, but everyone's looking to make a buck, right? Walk up to someone who's got a shitty house on the border or something like that, you know? You hand them a few $100s, that's paying their bills for a couple months.
That lady, she has nothing to do with them. Like she's like just happens to live there. I actually did like a full interview with her, and it'll come out on my channel soon. But yeah, she's like, this is horrible. Like we can't even live in our backyard with peace because we don't know who's coming through our backyard.
All right.
So here's the translated thing.
Let's zoom in on this.
It's the first one, or
yeah. So that has all the directions of like all the camps where they're going.
Zoom in a little more because I want to read the top of that, Alessi. Okay, so it says.
So when you are.
When our government leaves you outside without providing you with limited food, water, and medical eyes, if you find an urgent medical problem, please inform the volunteer or the patrol team immediately or call 911. You are located in one of the following camps. Is that a separate piece of paper? So that was given to them by someone at an NGO, it looks like?
Yeah, that's given them on the Mexican side.
Who gave that to them? The top one. The top little piece right there.
No, so that's all just like how it translated out, so you can read it.
Okay, this is all the same paper?
Yeah, it's all the same paper.
Okay, I was a little confused because it looks a little different. Okay, so this is given to them by someone in the Chinese camp, I guess, on the Mexican side of the border, and they cross the border with this.
Yeah.
All right, so it says Moon Valley, O'Neill Camp, Inco Pa, Exit 77, Jacumba, California.
So those are the places they come to once they cross the border. Like
Okay.
those 4 camps that you're.
All right, I'm not going to read the other addresses, but it's the same thing. But the fourth one says Sliders, GPS coordinates 32.58723 to 116.53124. Even precise with that. Okay. Please respect the land. Please pick up the garbage and don't burn the vegetation. We don't know how long you will stay here. It may be a few hours or a few days. Food, water, and basic medical services will be provided once or twice a day. When you leave here, you may be taken to the local processing facility. Okay, so they may go to a facility. You were saying at some point we don't know where they are. So the first place they may go, we may know where they are. We don't know how long you need to deal with it from the facility. Be sure to wear warm clothes during detention. Be sure to turn off your mobile phone before leaving the camp. So that's where the word camp comes from. They're calling those facilities camps, right? So they keep saying camp because obviously their people are calling these facilities, these migrant centers, camps. If you travel with your family, you need to tell border patrols who you are traveling with to reduce your chances of getting separated. You should not be separated from your spouse or children. Try to be, so sometimes it is like families too. Chinese families. Okay. Try to be together until you are released. For more information on providing assistance to separated family members, please see below. From the local processing facility, you will be released or sent to an immigration detention center or fly to Texas, so some of them are flying, for processing. Most people will be released to locations in San Diego or Riverside County. So real quick, before we go on, explain to me what it means when they say most people will be released to locations in San Diego or Riverside County. Does that mean that the centers will be like, okay, we're overrun, so you're going to go stay at this hotel?
That means they'll be street released onto the streets in San Diego, and then from there they need to get it.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, then they're free in America.
Is that what percentage of people, ballpark, if you had to estimate, end up being street released after they cross the border and go through this chain?
All the people that come over single, I believe, unless they get deported.
Families, though, don't always get street released?
No.
I mean, if you're going to choose between the two, you'd want to put the families there because at least you have a family rather than, maybe a solo coyote or something.
Yeah, you don't see families at those places.
Okay.
And then that's crazy. Switch to the next page I sent you. Yeah. That has some really detailed information about.
All right, zoom in on this.
Okay.
If you are sent to an immigration detention center, If you have an immigration history or criminal record, you are more likely to be sent to an immigration detention center. How do they even know if you have a criminal record? Who even are you? You may be sent to an institution in California or other states. If you have contacts in the United States, they should use the immigration law directory linked below to find someone close to you. Lawyers in the place of detention. You must pass the, quote, credible fear, unquote, interview to be released. In this interview, you will explain why you are afraid to return to your own country. If you don't pass this interview, you may be deported. If you pass the trusted fear interview, you will need to write a letter to a guarantor with legal status in the United States. You can live with them during your asylum application. Then your expulsion officer will decide whether you can be released. If you are released, you will receive a court date near your guarantor's residence, which will probably be fucking 5 years later because they're so backed up. If you are not released, you will have to seek asylum in the detention center. Because a large number of immigrants cross the California border, the Border Patrol may take you to Texas or Arizona by plane/bus for processing. From there, you may be released to the community or sent to the ICE detention center. If you are separated from your family during the process, so if you are released to the
Holy Land.
if you are released to the Holy Land, please look for the group where Al Ultra Lotto can immigrant defenders so there's a little bit of a translation issue. Can immigrant defenders to help you reunite with your family. If you are released to a shelter in San Diego or Riverside, the shelter staff can coordinate with a legitimate nonprofit organization to help you reunite. If you go to another location by plane/bus or there is no nonprofit organization staff at the San Diego publishing site, you can call or send a WhatsApp message to 323-542-4582 for help. If you are taken to the hospital before receiving treatment, if you have been discharged, you can call 619-800-2083, not applicable to WhatsApp. This is a hotline run by volunteers, and you can find resources according to your needs every time. If you have a passport, they're bringing passports. You're free to go to your final destination. Free Wi-Fi is available at the airport. If you can't afford a hotel room while waiting for the flight, it's safe to spend the night at the airport. Once you arrive at your destination, you must find a lawyer and submit an asylum application as soon as possible, but no later than one from the date you entered the United States. Or they could just disappear if they've been let through the system and never be seen again.
Exactly.
Now, one thing I'll say, like a lot of this seems to translate well. You said you translated this with an app?
Yeah, you just take a photo of it and it translates.
All right, just for like looking out for you, journalistic integrity, because there were some things, just the wording, it obviously is a little off. Have a Chinese person translate this word for word so that it can be translated perfectly. Mm-hmm. Just do that for your own good. But like, obviously most of this is being translated correctly. That's wild. And while I'm reading it,
legit step-by-step instructions on what to do.
But I'm getting dizzy reading it. There's so many different,
they cover everything. They cover up to the Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi at the airport.
This is a horrible example to use, but I'm going to use it. You know how like when you catch a fish, it's slippery?
Yeah.
Right? And you already have to hold on to it. This system is like having a hand standing on the edge of the ocean, like on the edge of the boat, and having to hand that flopping fish like to 15 different people down the line and hope someone didn't drop it. That's what this is like.
Yeah, and then a lot of these people, they say if you have passport, the majority of them rip up their passport at the border.
They rip it up.
Yeah, because then once they get through these immigration centers, they can change their names. They can change their date of birth.
Why even bring it in the first place? Oh, because they had to get into Mexico.
They have to fly into Mexico.
Yeah.
It's not looking too bright. And then if they do get deported, they just come right across and use a different name. And they literally have them tell them what to do in their interview.
Can't we use like these facial recognition things now though to put them in a system? I mean, Christ, they're using it on Twitter. They can't use it at the fucking.
Hopefully, I'm just being naive, but that's what I hear happens.
This, like where they're not doing that, right? So you were saying though that because this does say some of the people do go to the airports, which makes sense, especially if they still keep their passport or something like that. It'd be easy for them to get across, but the directions are telling them to do it mostly by the book legally. But effectively, a lot of these people we suspect are not doing that. They're not getting to a place and contacting a lawyer and seeking asylum. Once they get somewhere, they're just disappearing.
I believe so. And why would they? If they already know they can be there without, because what happens is they get these court dates and they're like a year, anywhere from like a year to 5 years out. And so they have like at least that time to be here. But if you just don't show up to that court date,
You're gone.
yeah, you're just got away. Like, how can they find you? And then if you never use actually your real name, how are they ever going to find you?
Do we have an estimate of how many people are coming across the border every day right now?
So
Illegally?
or
Illegally.
yeah, so the United States caps it out. As of like 2 days ago, they capped it at 5,000. But
What do
now,
you mean they capped it out?
like after 5,000, they shut down the border.
Oh, that's
But
nice.
so Joe Biden just came out that executive order, but now 2,500, and then they cap it.
So when you pass that border patrol agent on the motorcycle, this is before he put in that legislation. Maybe it was 5,000 before that. Basically, he's going past you because he knows, well, we're only at 3,123 today.
Pretty much. And so, like, they cap it out, but like, so now instead of like with this new executive order, they're still letting in 2,500 people a day, which is a lot of people. But you think the people are really just gonna wait in Mexico? Like, they're eventually gonna figure out how to come through. And so, what it's actually gonna happen?
Wait, what do you mean?
So, like, say they can't come in that day. They're just gonna wait to the next.
Oh,
day.
they're gonna wait for
And they just wait for the next day until it's their time. Like, I went to Mexico City to see what was happening as well, and like the Biden administration has also created an app called the CBP One app. And
what?
The Biden administration has like re-implemented this app called the CBP One app, and so once a migrant gets to any migrant from Venezuela, Nicaragua, Cuba, or Haiti, they can use this app called the CBP One app. What happens is they get to the United States, they get to Mexico, and then from Mexico they apply for that app, and then once they get the approval for the app, they are given a date to come and present themselves at U.S. Customs, and then from there they're let into the United States. So
Now,
this is different than crossing the border.
So is
illegally.
this somewhat legal?
Yes, it's like it's legal, but they're still bringing in, like, the United States of America is literally bringing migrants into America, and not even that.
But do we get their actual name, who they are? They have to give identification.
I'd hope so, but a lot of these people from these countries don't even have it because they've lost it.
Ooh. See, that doesn't solve the problem.
No, and what makes it worse is Biden also, they're flying in 30,000 migrants a month into America, like flying them in
From
Mexico
what do you mean flying them in?
in an airplane through an airport,
Like at Mexico City though, or like from the border?
from Mexico City, I believe, I'd imagine.
Can we look this up?
But then they don't. Yeah, look at the
Biden administration flying in migrants from Mexico. Let's see if we can come up with something on that. See if there's like an article.
Yeah, Daily Mail came out with one.
You see something? All right. Now it's just giving us all the latest news on what
Go
he
to
did.
images.
Oh, images?
Yeah, there should be one by the Daily Mail. Or if you want to search up Biden flying migrants from Mexico, the Daily Mail.
Yeah, type in at the end of Mexico, type in Daily Mail.
Like, I wanted to give Biden like the benefit of doubt, like, oh, maybe it's actually not that bad. What's going on?
All right, here we go. Biden administration admits flying 320,000 migrants secretly into the U.S. to reduce the number of crossings at the border. Has national security vulnerabilities, in quotes there. So this is from March 4th, 2024. Joe Biden's administration has admitted transporting migrants on secret flights into the U.S., and lawyers for its immigration agencies claim revealing the locations could create national security vulnerabilities. Customs and Border Protection has refused to disclose crucial information about a program last year arranging flights for thousands of undocumented immigrants from foreign airports directly to U.S. cities. It means that while record numbers of migrants were flowing over the southern border last year, the Biden White House was also directly transporting them into the country. Let's scroll down. Use of cell phone app has allowed for the near undetected arrival Use of a cell phone app has allowed for the near undetected arrival by air of 320,000 aliens with no legal rights to enter the U.S. It comes after a controversy over a 2022 transportation program in which the administration used taxpayer money to move migrants throughout the country on overnight flights. Go down. Okay. Included in details of a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit first reported by Todd Brensman. The Center for Immigration Studies found Biden's CBP approved the latest secretive flights that transported hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants from foreign countries into at least 43 different American airports from January through December 2023. The program was a part of Biden's expansion of the CBP-1 app, which you just talked about, which kicked off at the start of last year. The migrants were able, under Biden's expansion, to apply for asylum using the app from their home countries, but the Center for Immigration Studies notes that the transportation of these migrants directly to the U.S. is one of the lesser-known uses of the app. Aliens who cannot enter the U.S. legally use CBP-1 to apply for travel authorization and temporary humanitarian release from those airports. So what I want to know, though, because this looks bad, obviously, but what do they have to put into CBP-1 from a identification standpoint, and how legit is that? And then the ones who can't, who then would be requesting asylum, what does the process look like for them when they get on the ground? Are they being street released, or are they being brought to a center and actually questioned?
I believe on the app they ask for their name and probably their reason and what country they're from. So if they're from Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, they automatically get asylum in the United States. So this app was created for them. And then once they get here, they are either put into a shelter, and they're given the option pretty much between Chicago, Denver, and New York. And that's like those three sanctuary
They're given
places.
the option.
Yeah.
They
Like,
get to decide.
Yeah, and that's unless they have like another person who can host them. So, like, I wanted to give Biden the benefit of doubt, like, oh, like maybe he's like trying to do that. And then I saw this article, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is all by design.
It doesn't look good.
No, and you want to, I can keep telling you even crazier and crazier
Keep
stuff.
going. That's why you're here.
So in California, now a migrant, when they get there, they get free healthcare, free college tuition. They get up to $20% on a down payment from the government for a house.
Free college tuition.
Free college tuition in California.
Who the state's paying that?
Government, tax dollars.
Can we Google that?
'Cause I met with on my last trip there. I met with a mayor of one of the cities of El Cajon, right on the border, and he tells me this. He's like, they get 20% down on a house payment. They only have to pay back. They only have to pay that back once they move out of the house, and they get free college tuition, free healthcare.
Whoa. Okay.
So, like, it's not good by any means. Like
Wait, go up real fast.
oh,
California, but do college tuition for yeah.
and then they
For-
also pay for sex changes.
College tuition, but migrants, immigrants. No, for immigrants, because it just says California taxpayer dollars for college tuition. I need for immigrants. Okay. New law could get more. Okay, hit that one. New law, go up. Many California undocumented students are missing out on financial aid. An easier new application could get them more money. Go down. So they're undocumented, so they're not citizens. Each year, more than 35,000 undocumented students with dreams of earning a college degree in California apply for the state's marquee financial aid program, the Cal Grant, but only about a third receive it. With no access to federal financial and few work opportunities, losing out on state dollars further undermines the ability of undocumented students to pay for school. The Cal Grant, for example, waives tuition at California's public universities and provides cash awards of about $1,650 to community college students. Well, that's not full tuition, but that's something. Now, after several years of advocacy and state law passed this year, California financial aid administrators are about to debut a revised application meant to get more college grants for undocumented students. So they are paying something where they can apply to it. So essentially, people who then are admitting that they're undocumented, admitting that they weren't born here, they came here illegally, which I do think is it's tough when you were brought here not under your own recognizance when you were 2 or 3 years old, and this is the only country you know. But they're admitting that they weren't born here, and then saying, give me money. And then the taxpayer is giving them money to go to college.
Yeah, it's essentially like rewarding people for breaking the law. And like, why, if you're a migrant and you live in Venezuela and you hear that this is all happening here in the United States, why wouldn't you come to America?
Yeah, I agree. Why wouldn't you?
And their biggest fear is that Donald Trump gets reelected. Because once that happens, Donald Trump is claimed to shut it down. So in these upcoming 4 or 5 months until election, like there's gonna be a lot of border crossings.
Well, now he's at least making the appearance that he's trying to limit it.
Yeah, but 2,500 people, that's still
a lot. Fuck yeah.
more than 500,000.
What I don't
year.
understand, though,
600,
this
700,000.
is what I've never understood. Border Patrol agent, ICE agent, whatever. The people who are on there looking at it every day. Their job is if they see him coming across, it's not to fucking shoot him or be an asshole or something, but the job is to be like, okay, you're coming with me. You're here illegally.
That was their job.
Right. But we have developed a system over the last 3-4 decades, whatever it is,
Now they're just escorting people.
to where not even escort, forget that, because you're right, that does happen. But I'm saying, like, even just they see people coming across and they just go, okay, can't do it yet today.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's really bad. And like they're getting their orders. Like I'm like the Border Patrol agents, like you go down there and you can tell they're like are fired up about what's going on too. Like they're angry because they're not even allowed to do their job, right? They when they became Border Patrol agents, I'm sure they all thought like, okay, we're gonna protect this border, we're gonna protect our land, or we're gonna protect America. But now they're being told, because it's not, there's like 3 levels to it. There's like first it goes the White House, like not Donald Trump. It goes the White House and like Joe Biden and his administration, and then it goes Homeland Securities, and then it goes Border Patrol. So Border Patrol gets there. They get all their commands from the top 2, and right now this is what they're giving them to do. Like let them in. Once we get to our count, we'll close the border for the day.
Have you done content where you interview, even if they're blurry face Border Patrol guys?
They can't speak to you.
They can't.
They can't talk to you. I've
Even-
talked to the vice president of the Border Patrol Council, which is different. I think it's just like a group of retired Border Patrol agents that are now
What did
trying
he
to do
say?
stuff. This is when my first time ever at the border. He said it's all cartel ran, that all these people are coming over, they're bringing over drugs, everything like that, and nothing's being stopped. Nothing's being done to stop it. Like it just like kind of makes you mad. Like there's the human part of the migrant situation, as you guys saw in that clip of me crying. Like it makes you really sad, and then to know that like the government's like facilitating all this, and now to go deeper into the loophole, Mexico just elected this new president, this new woman president that is like super progressive, like socialist, and there were 12 candidates before her that got offed, that were killed.
Yeah, that was awfully
And so
interesting.
who do you think she's working for? And if she is a high socialist, if that's what they're saying, and then they're the people that allow people to come into the border, like they're our border, Mexico, and say Joe Biden gets reelected, there's probably gonna be some weird things going on.
Yeah, I strongly doubt that Biden will be reelected because he's so.
I don't know. Like,
You still think he could? I'm just looking at this purely analytically. I don't like after what they've done to Trump. They've made him popular with people.
yeah, Trump's probably more popular than ever, but I also make videos where I go ask people who they're voting for on my YouTube channel, and the majority all say Biden. Like
Where are you asking?
at
New York
Harvard.
City?
Harvard, they're all Biden. New York
Oh
City,
yeah, of course, duh.
Biden. Even in Compton, some of them are Biden.
Yeah, but
like, what?
this is where he already. You know they're gonna vote that way.
Yeah, but you'd think like after seeing all this stuff, they would be like, oh, like
I saw
maybe
videos
things-
where you interviewed people in New York from different backgrounds who on your videos where they said, "No, I'm voting for Trump."
Yeah,
You would have never heard that 4 years ago.
yeah. A lot
Never.
of people are like, I've switched.
Yeah. Now I think it's a joke. Like
Like,
when
I think
Trump,
New York like is more Republican than most people think, but I think like the leaders.
the state, or the
Um,
city.
I've never been outside of New York City, so probably New York City. Like, dude,
All
New
right.
York City's got some really cool people. Like, I love New York and the people.
Yeah, I love
And,
the city. It's great.
Yeah, a lot of people are fed up. Like, New Yorkers tell you how it is, which is awesome. And a lot of them are like, now it's like, let's go for Trump.
So there are some people saying that.
Yeah, and some in New York.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
dude.
there are
Like,
some people.
And you're talking about hot button type places where it's like, they just like if you went out in the middle of rural country, they're likely to vote right. You go into the middle of an urban center, they're likely to vote left. You're still gonna have people that ideologically vote. Like when we talk about a blowout in this country, the biggest blowout was like I think Reagan on Mondale in 1984. He won like 500 electoral votes or something. Mondale still got more than 40% of the vote, right? It's a small shift that makes it a large move because it 5% moves from one side to the other, it makes 10%. But you look at it right now, I don't know, like, Trump is such a flawed candidate. It would have been so easy to not have him threaten to get in there again if the Democrats just let him be and let him talk, because that's what he does. B, didn't make him a victim if they're going to go after him, which is what they've now done. And C, had any level of competence running for that office, which they don't have. They have a dead guy as president. I mean, he can't talk. Let's just call this what it is, right? And his vice president, not exactly very talented, right? So they are running these horrible people. So when you say, like, I'm looking at it analytically, I don't see the only thing that could prevent Trump from winning is if Robert F. Kennedy stole a fuck ton of votes from him. And after they just gift wrap Trump a 34-piece present, which is effectively what they did with that joke of a conviction, I think his popularity's high. Now, a lot can change in the next 5 months, but like his popularity's high enough, like he's going to get most of those votes. Not Robert F. Kennedy is now like an afterthought.
Yeah, and if anything, Robert F. Kennedy's helping Donald Trump because he's taking more people from Biden.
I disagree with that completely.
Really?
Yeah. No, but Robert F. Kennedy is now, he was kicked out of the Democratic Party effectively. He's running as an independent. He is a traditional liberal. There's a lot of things he says that I agree with, but he is a guy who he attracted a lot of people who maybe can't stand the Democratic Party but don't like Trump. That's number one. And number two, he also hit on the anti-vax crowd, which is much more largely on the right side, people who think of that. So I disagree that he'd be stealing from Biden more. I used to be more open on that, but I think it would be more from Trump. That said, Trump is now, they have made him popular in light of making him a victim, and that has changed the game. And I think I've seen it it's only been, whatever, few weeks since his conviction or whatever, but I've seen the change in vibe instantaneously from people caring about Kennedy. Like, it's been instantaneous online.
Really?
Yeah.
I see it online, but when I talk to people, no one mentions Kennedy. But don't you think with the last name Kennedy, because the Kennedys are Democrats, don't you think that people will just like, oh, maybe Biden's not the best option? This Kennedy
His whole
guy.
family's come out and made videos against them.
Mm-hmm. But like
literally his whole family's come out and said, don't ever vote for him. And they're all the people supporting
don't vote for
Bobby Kennedy.
Really?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
all
You haven't
against
seen this?
Uh-uh.
Can we pull up a video of Bobby Kennedy's family? Kennedy family speaks out against Bobby in support of Biden. I want you to see this.
I wonder
his whole family is like, he's an idiot. Like, and I don't agree with what they're doing to him. I think that's totally wrong, and I don't think the guy's an idiot. I'm just saying, like, that's what they're doing. There's this video. I think this
like,
is.
Do you
old
think
now.
why do you think he's like? Why do you think Bobby's even like running? Like, he knows he's not gonna win.
Well, I think he actually got to a point. You got to remember when he decided to run. He had gotten to a point where the main thing people were freshly angry about was COVID and the vaccine. And he was the OG, vaccine guy. And so I think he felt like, because it was the top button issue at the time, not to say it's not something people still don't talk about and have an issue with, it absolutely is, but because it was the top button issue at the time, he could kind of hit on that. And I'll say, like, he got to a point where he was polling at, I think it was 22% in a Quinnipiac poll in October 2023. And when I saw in a 3-way race, and when I saw that, I said, whoa. But it's like he shot his load too early. Like he hit Joe Rogan last summer in 2023, hit the podcast circuit then, and then was doing so many podcasts that like now when he's on one, it's not like a big deal to people, and he just went too early with it.
I feel like if he can't get on the debate stage, it's gonna make it really hard.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he'll be able to get that opportunity to debate either, because it's gonna be Biden and Trump.
Video here of his grandson speaking out, and then there's just articles of just them tweeting and stuff.
There's a video. It's a commercial.
There's Carrie Kennedy who says she's going to endorse Biden.
Yeah, there's a commercial of all of them going one by one, like introducing themselves.
Really?
Yeah, hold on. We're going to take a pause for 1 second. I want to find this video. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. I got the video now. I just texted it to Alessi, so he's going to stick it up on the screen over here. This was what I was talking about. It's effectively like an ad. We got the volume on. That over there. All right, go. You got to turn the volume on Twitter. It's not on. Go back to the beginning and turn the volume on. Go back to the beginning. Here we go.
My name is Joe Kennedy.
I'm Carrie Kennedy. Dorey Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy Townsend.
Chris Kennedy. And I'm here to proudly endorse Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Our future is on the ballot in a way in which we haven't seen in generations.
The only way to win this election is for everybody to go out and vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
When I think of modern politicians in our country in this century, I think Joe Biden is the RFK of his generation.
Believes in democracy, believes in human rights, believes in the freedoms. This is a president who embodies the Kennedy legacy.
My name is Joe Kennedy.
All right, that's it.
That is
So
crazy.
you see it. Yeah, I'm surprised you hadn't seen that.
How much do you think they got paid for that?
It's a good question, but I'll bet nothing.
Because look, it's,
I'll bet they
it's
got
from
tapped
Joe
on the-
Biden.
Yeah, I'll bet they got tapped on the shoulder and said, listen, you're going to go in here and say this.
No way. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I've never seen that video before.
Yeah, he's not like the
Kennedy doesn't really pop up in my feed that much.
The people who I'll tell you the exact profile of the people who come and bring up RFK to my face without me asking about it. They're males between the ages of like 21 and 26, and they're usually like middle class Caucasian males who at this point I'd say like lean right. And those are the people who want to vote for him, but I think a lot of them aren't going to vote for him. I think again, a lot can change in the next 5 months, 4 months, whatever it is. But you're talking about, you know, the government really going after Trump, which is making him. That's what it does. It pushes him right into people's arms. I've been saying this forever. I said it with Jim DiOrio back on episode 113 after that raid. Like, it literally, it's like they want him in office. That's how it feels.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
Yeah. So, but you brought this up talking about the new president of Mexico and her being really lax on this stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know too much about her. I've just seen like some of the stuff, but I do find it really interesting when I saw like the fact that 12 other presidential candidates were killed off before her.
Yeah, there were other numbers too. Like there were a record number of murders in general or something that
and
occurred.
Like today, one of the mayors of one of the popular cities there also died.
Yeah.
So that's not good. Like I don't know why any government ever tries to do socialism, because it never works. If you look at any country that's ever done it,
It doesn't.
It
doesn't.
never works. I mean, look at Venezuela.
Yeah, no,
They have nothing.
there's no
Argentina.
example of it working.
It's like, why do they think they're going to be able to fix it? Why do they think they're going to make it work?
People try to point to very small countries in Europe that they're not fully socialist, but like lean socialists. They'll talk about like Sweden and Norway and stuff, and it's like, I don't remember the populations offhand, but you're talking very small populations, small GDPs of, you know, one type of ethnicity that lives there as well. It's not relatable. Now, are there like, can places, forgetting socialism for a second, can places have better systems of criminal correction and stuff like that? Sure. But like when you're talking about, when you then try to say, oh, look, they have free healthcare. Well, how good are their doctors? Does anyone go to Norway for fucking treatment for cancer? No, right? So it doesn't work. It's just fascinating to me that throughout human history we try these things over and over again, you know. And I always say, like, fascism and socialism, or fascism and communism, are the same thing. They're just they're right next to each other on the political circle, and they think they're the opposite. Like, why people can't see that, I don't know.
I have no idea, and it like worries me too, like, especially with them being so close to America, and like we know that stuff, like you're saying, it doesn't ever work.
Yeah.
And it's just gonna bring more people into America. And then if you think about like the ties, like they're next to California. Who's the governor of California? What does he believe in? Probably very similar to what she believes in.
Yeah, he don't believe in shit. He's told what to do.
Yeah.
that guy doesn't stand for anything.
And then going to like the election stuff, like he most likely will be the next option after Biden.
You think?
Yeah, like they've already talked about it. Like unless Michelle Obama pops back up somehow, that would be crazy. It's like gonna be so. I'm like pretty excited to see what happens in these next few months.
Excited?
Like it's gonna be some crazy stuff.
I don't know if excited is the word, but it's
I'm very interested.
I hope. Yeah, that's fair. I hope there's not. I hope there isn't crazy stuff, but unfortunately, I agree with you. I think there's probably going to be some crazy shit going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if like we start seeing a bunch of riots, and like think about what's going to happen here in New York City when, say, Donald Trump does win, and the migrants are going to go crazy because he's going to try to deport all of them. Like there's going to be like, I believe there'll probably be like BML riots, but
are they still around?
Who?
BLM? They still kicking?
They're at the Palestine protest.
They are, but are they like
well the same people that
BLM?
They have the flag sometimes out there.
Okay.
But it's like the same people that were doing those protests are now doing the Palestine protests. They're just hopping from protest to protest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you looked into those at all?
Yes, and you actually just did some content at some of the New York City Israel-Palestine college campus protests, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to pull that up, Ales?
There's
I think
two of them.
we
There's
have
one
that
that went
video.
super viral on YouTube.
There's this one.
There's that one, and I did one on my second channel that got a lot of views as well.
Oh, you did one. I didn't see one on your second channel.
And it got like 1 million views.
Okay, what was different about them?
That one's like a way more upbeat and quick, just like asking college students why they're protesting.
Oh yeah, let's go to that. So Nick Shirley, what's your second channel called?
Nick Shirley interviews.
Nick Shirley.
If you just scroll all the way down on this channel, it's right there.
All right, grab that.
And why are we here?
The second one?
Yeah, 1.2.
All right, let's see this bad boy. After Tony Robbins finishes his ad and we turn on the volume.
Outside of a Palestine protest, and today we're going to be asking these students why they are protesting. Because I've seen videos and I don't know if all these students understand exactly why they're here or if they're just joining the crowd. I want to know if they actually understand why they are protesting and see if they can give me any good answers. What are you guys out here protesting for?
No comment.
Why are you guys out here today?
Speak to the organizers.
Why can't I wanted to ask you.
Official statements from the organizers only.
In the simplest terms, why are you guys protesting? Why are you guys protesting today?
Yeah, I don't think it would be a good idea if we...
Why are you guys protesting?
Just to be a part of the cause.
And what's the cause?
I'm not the right person to talk to either.
We're not the spokespeople on this end. This is the wrong people to talk to.
I'm not asking for the spokesperson. I'm just asking why you guys are protesting.
This is...
Even though we would call the police if we're in trouble, the police are a repressive system. They do not do any good for any community. They are not stopping crime. Police arrive after crime has been committed. We fund the police as if they solve all the community's problems. We should defund the police and put that money towards community resources like mental health, drug addiction rehabilitation, schools, community programs, and it would keep people out of committing crimes. The cops, all they do is try to get as many brown and black people into the prison system because mass incarceration these days is really just modern day slavery. So even if I might call the cops if I need help, the cops, the police, the way that system runs. The police do more bad than they do good.
Oh, you would call them if you need help?
Yes.
So why are you guys protesting today?
I don't want to talk to press, I'm sorry.
They don't really want to talk. Why are you guys protesting here today?
I don't want to do this, sorry.
We're asking people why they're protesting here today.
Because I want to see empire fall.
What empire?
From the U.S. to Israel, the empire that's propped up by capitalism.
And
Free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, free Haiti, free Hawaii, free Puerto Rico, liberation for all.
why are they giving out masks right now? Are they trying to cover everyone's faces? And why do you have the mask on right now?
Because, well, there's a police state, basically, in New York. There are CCTV cameras littered all throughout, and if Fordham admin see me at this protest with my face or my tattoos, which I've been trying to hide, I have very visible tattoos, they have the ability to recognize me and suspend me from the university for speaking out against the apartheid state of Israel.
Okay. And if they do not divest, will you guys be willing to drop out of this university?
Well, that's the issue, is that I am here for a better education, and if I don't receive this education, in some ways I feel like I'm not doing my duty to the world by bettering myself and bettering the world through my knowledge about these injustices throughout the world.
And what percentage of these students do you believe actually know why they're protesting?
100%, maybe 90 at the lowest.
Do you know why you are protesting here today?
Yes.
And what is that reason?
No comment.
Why can only the organizers speak about what's going on here?
No comment.
Why not?
No comment.
We will not stop, we will not rest this long! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest this long! Divest!
What would you like them to divest from? What would you like them to divest from?
Fordham hasn't, they don't release where they're putting any of their money. It's very secretive, and so we want them not only to divest, but more importantly, disclose.
Is that the main reason why you guys are here? Because you want the school to divest from
Do you have a
organizations?
press pass?
I'm just an independent person here.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm supposed to talk to you.
And who tells you guys you can't speak to other people?
It's not like that.
Why
Great
are you guys
question.
protesting here today?
Because there was a genocide going on of the Palestinian people, and 17,000 people have been killed.
Hey, she's letting me talk to her. And so why are you protesting today?
Again, because like 17,000 people have been killed, so that's why. And for the school to divest in funding companies that are providing Israel with weapons and arms.
And what companies would you guys like the school to divest from?
That's all.
Do you think the majority of these college students know exactly why they are protesting?
The majority of them know nothing. I grew up in Israel. I moved here 27 years ago. I've been to explosions. I've been to the shit. I don't believe in any God. I don't believe in any government. I believe in people. None of those people got their info. Okay? This is something that's been going on for years. None of them has anything to do with it, and none of them are going to lose anything where my parents sit under missiles. Not bullets, missiles. Right. So what I think about it, I think that's what white kids in America do. We have a country that's so good here, buddy, that we have time to bitch and moan.
Yeah.
And you don't need to sit in the shelter and hope it's not landing on you. That's the reality of it.
And do you think any of these students would be willing to go to where the problem is actually happening there
No,
in
100% no. Basically taking over the school, that's like me taking over an apartment. This is a little more, same thing we had the riots here, and they start breaking into stores. That's not a protest anymore. Demonstrating for days, nobody listening. I haven't seen anything done on any level. You know, not even in our government, so.
do you think there will be any results to these protests? Or?
Absolutely not. No one in Israel sees this. They see this 2 minutes a day. No one got even electricity to see this. If you want to know your
Yeah.
that's all. Like everything's history. Nothing is black and white.
In your simplest terms, why are you guys protesting right now?
I'm not going to give you like a specific answer. I have my own reasons. Many other people have their own reasons.
All right,
We feel a sense
pause
of
it right there.
responsibility. Some of our tuition goes to that.
So, this is really, some of your questions are really good. And, like, I think you're highlighting an issue here, which is that, you know, I have a lot of issues with this conflict. Of course, I'd like to see it end. I think some of it is just, it's horrible. The whole thing is horrible. But literally the worst people in the world are the people who show up at these things, because they have no idea what they're talking about. The saddest part is people who are like sympathetic of Palestinians in Gaza right now. I'm with you, but I'm not. None of these people have any idea what's actually happening. They're just doing it because they think it's the cool thing to do. And frankly, like, I hate to be this guy, but most of them are like not good looking and cast-offy looking, and I think this is like their best hope to like
Be a part of something.
Be a part of something instead of like being a cool kid.
Something that's extremely interesting, I learned this after the fact of filming these videos, is that the majority of those people are part of the LGBTQ plus community. In Palestine, they wouldn't even survive.
Yeah, they'd literally be whacked.
It's like, do they even realize why they're doing that? Like, if I'm a person part of that community and I hear that that's the community I'm trying to support right now, I would not be there. You'd be like, you're crazy. Why would I support somebody that would kill me?
Yeah.
And like, I get the sadness of everything, but I also talk to like people who are pro-Israel, and they say some stuff, and there's extreme bias.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I heard your other video. I was like trying to pause it to fact check the whole thing, because there was one guy, just everything you said, I'm like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong.
And
that's what happens.
Yeah.
Both sides.
And so, and it's kind of like talking to somebody from the right and talking to somebody from the left.
100%. Yeah.
And like, these people seem obviously like not my crowd. So it's like people I don't hang out with, but
they're not in the church out there with you.
No, that has nothing to do with it. But like, it's like they don't really know what they're doing, and they're just kicking rocks, yelling stuff, saying "F the police." I don't support that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like, why are you guys protesting for something and for somebody that wouldn't even support you?
Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.